I am excited that we are back here for our MEWC and MECC World Finals.
For 2 days, instead of only 16 people, we now have almost 200 people playing at the stage, on the stage. So amazing.
Here we go, 5, 4,
3, 2, 1.
All right.
Dim doing. All right, Dim is setting up some name ranges. That's going to help him out in the future. So that's map 30 seconds to go.
And it's, are we going to see?
I think it's coming.
Are we going to see the belt go?
Belt, you have earned it. Congratulations, my friend.
The CFA program is your pathway to becoming a globally recognized investment professional. The Microsoft Excel Challenge is not just a competition, it's where future investment industry leaders rise. Where modeling meets strategy and strategy meets opportunity. The CFA program builds the foundation backed by the global benchmark in investment education. Chart your course, set the standard. CFA Institute.
If you're looking to grow your business, worrying about having the right supplies and products in stock without overspending or wasting time shouldn't be on your to-do list. Order.co provides the easiest way to purchase and pay for everything your business needs, keeping operations running smoothly and your team focused on what matters most. Cut costs and complexity with every order and visit Order.co today.
Hello and welcome. Today we are officially kicking off the Excel World Championship 2025. And I'm really excited to be joined today by Carl Simon, management consultant and FP&A advisor with over 20 years experience. Carl's an Excel MVP and an adjunct professor in data analytics at Rice University in Houston. Welcome, Carl.
Thank you very much, Jax. And then also, Jax is my co-host. She is a Excel enthusiast. She's been doing it since the 2021 finals and has since co-founded the UK chapter of the Excel Championships, becoming the biggest OA robot fan, and then also hosting the Excel Files podcast with Dim Early and Elliot Patterson. For her day job, she makes Excel magic happen for actuarial modeling.
I do that, indeed. So welcome to today's battle. It's going to be super exciting. We're here to play the qualification round for the 2025 Microsoft Excel World Championship, and we have 256 qualifier slots. There are 150 up for grabs today, Carl. I'm so excited to see what comes out of this.
Yeah, it's a challenging case, so it's going to be interesting to witness how people solve it.
It is definitely a challenging case. Having tried that, I can confirm the case is very exciting and challenging. I'm really excited to see some of the solutions that our guests come up with. But let's have a look at who is already qualified, because the players playing today are already qualified. They don't have anything to lose by being here apart from reputation. Mm-hmm. So we have this amazing graphic by Ben Gucha showing us everyone who has pre-qualified over the year. There are 90 people qualified from the Road to Las Vegas battles 1 to 9, plus 3 wildcards. And in addition, there are another 10 people qualified from the top 16 slots in the FMWC. So that puts us up with 150 slots left up for grabs. And as you can see, most of our top contenders, I can actually tell you that out of our top contenders, the top 42 contenders by anyone's rating are already qualified, and we're on that screen that we just saw.
Yeah. And I'm curious, Jack, how do you think that the contestants today will face this case, given that they've already qualified?
Knowing a lot of what happens in their Lambda collections, having actually discussed this with them at great length at different points, I think our contestants will be ready for the bonuses and the levels 1 to 4, but when they get to level 5, they just will not know what's hit them.
Yeah.
And I'm really curious to see the solutions that come out there.
Yeah, for sure. Having taken a look at this case, this one is abstract. It's going to be very challenging. So I'm curious how people are going to deal with this. It's definitely going to challenge them from a different side of their brain.
Exactly. Shall we meet our 4 players for today?
Yeah, let's do it.
Great. So this is who's contending. We have 2 amazing duels going on here, so to speak. We have Jim at Early versus Dim Slayer Liana Garish on the one hand, and on the other hand we have the top 2 contenders from the UK finals, Hadan and Lorenzo. And Hadan beat out Lorenzo just 3 weeks ago by 11 points to win the UK chapter. So we have some really, really tight battles coming up, and they are all really closely matched, our players today. Dim obviously ranking in the top 1 or 2 players, depending on whose rankings you believe. And Liana, Ha, and Lorenzo all coming close to that top 20, 30 slot. I'm very excited. So, shall we, Dim, what do you have in your Lambda kit that you've been putting on with your Lambda selection lately? I'm not hearing them on the audio.
Dim, I think you're muted. Yep.
Sorry about that.
Welcome back.
I've been adding a bunch of stuff lately, but more so I've been like trying to cut things out and simplify it, because it's like I've added to the collection, you know, haphazardly, randomly when things are needed over the years, and there's a bunch of, well, not quite as much, but there was a bunch of junk in there that I needed to kind of boot out, and like 4 different things that did kind of the same thing that would work better if they were all just one function. So that's, I've been trying to do a bit of cleanup. We'll see if that helps, or if it just means that I've, you know, not adequately tested and things are broken in production. I don't know.
Excellent.
Definitely feeling less excited about this round after hearing what you described.
Lorenzo, what have you drummed up to beat them with today?
I think it will be very tough, especially hearing how this level 5 apparently is. let's be focused. I will do my best, and let's see how it goes.
Excellent. And Ha is the newcomer to the sport, Carl. He has not played the sport until this year. So he is a first-time contender this year and has come right through, won the UK Championship, and is in the top 32 rankings on his first attempt. So how are you feeling about today's battle?
I think it's going to be fun because it's a chance to do some more excelling. But yeah, from what people have talked about the case, as in within the our four, yeah, I'm not trying to get a perfect score, definitely.
Excellent. And finally, we have Liana, who is apparently representing Antarctica from now on. Liana is coming to us from Italy, where our Italian is coming to us from the UK. Are you ready? Are you comfortable in this Italian environment to be competing at the top levels?
I think so. I'd like to say so. But tell us more about this level 5.
Well, I'm just going to traumatize you all a little bit over here. I've explicitly, the last time I wore this particular Lana Banana shirt, I did a lot of traumatizing that day in Vegas. So I am purposefully wearing it to re-traumatize everybody once again with the same case. Excellent. Well, are we ready to move on and let you get acquainted with the case, and we can introduce the case to our live stream viewers?
Glad to present you the case. The #1 fan, 5 years of Excel Esports, designed by Andrew Grigalunovich, the founder of FMWC. John Smith is a big fan of the Financial Modeling World Cup and Excel Esports tournaments. He took part in all our previous MEWC championships and all the battles on the Road to Las Vegas series. Each year since we launched the Excel Esports format in 2021, John has been able to solve every single case except one. Now he needs your help to solve these remaining cases. One case from each of the years 2021 to 2025. Help John by getting the right answers to each of the questions. Each Excel Esports player has his or her own strengths. Some cases might suit certain players more than others. Just like in the previous years, we have created a series of 5 mini cases or sections that would suit every person's strengths. These sections are not connected with each other and are inspired by our previous competitions. The previous cases have been changed substantially, so it is not possible to get points using previous solutions. The case contains 100 questions divided into 5 sections of varying difficulty, plus 5 bonus questions. Plan your strategy wisely. Good luck.
Do you want me to run?
Go for it.
Sure.
What can you tell us about this case, Carl?
All right, so going through this case, as I had mentioned, this is a pretty abstract one. And what I think is most challenging about it is it's very visual. Instead of thinking about it from a business case, it's here are all of these graphics and maps and icons. And so the contestants are going to be challenged to really think of how can I use various functions to be able to pull apart these icons and to be able to combine them together. So it's just a very different way of thinking. And when I was going through the case, when I took a look at it, I was just like, oh my goodness, I really have to think of ways to carve this out and put it together.
Absolutely.
So it'll be interesting to see what people do.
We'll have a dissection into what we think would be the way of doing things once these guys are live and not listening to us anymore.
Sure.
The overall idea with today's case was we're at 5 years of the Microsoft Excel World Championship, and there are 5 levels representing a case from each of the 5 years. So we're doing a bit of time traveling throughout this case, which will be interesting. I believe the morning case had the same setup where there were 5 cases from across the 5 years, 1 for each year, and it's really exciting to see how that went. So
yeah.
Have our players had a chance to read through the case and have a look at the case rules? How are we all feeling? Any questions? I feel like Dim's going to come in with all the heavy questions now.
No questions from me. Just a big gulp.
Any questions from any of the other contestants? Are you all ready to dive in and show us what you have? Excellent. Well, what do you say you give them a countdown, Carl, and we will launch right in then.
Okay, everybody all good? We'll go 10,
9,
9, 8.
Oh, I like that.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good luck, everyone.
Excellent. So now they cannot hear us anymore. And Carl, this bit is the most exciting bit because there are 5 bonuses and only 2 contestants can get each bonus.
Right.
So there's going to be an absolute panic race going right now to try and get those bonuses in. I can see Dim has started putting something in for bonus 1. And he has already got 400 points. Leanna's got 400 points. They're really going to battle out these bonuses. The thing I found most interesting that doesn't normally happen in these cases is that usually the later bonuses are tied to a level. You have to finish a level to do it. But every single one of these bonuses can be done without doing the case in advance. So they're going to be battling out the bonuses before they even start the case.
Right. And I think that what's important here is when they take a look at the bonuses is to understand thematically which one of these, sections it ties to. So it's almost like priming their brains to say, okay, which bonus is going to relate to what, and what do I attack first, second, and thereafter?
Absolutely. Yeah. And Dim there is already on bonus 4. You can see he's actually got 1200. So I think he went straight in with bonus 1, 2, 3 and is already trying to get bonus 4. And
yeah, it's interesting that he's able to go to the bonus before even necessarily completing the case.
Leanna's locked in 800 points already. Lorenzo has 400. If there's 2,000 points, that means there's a total of 4,000 points up for grabs between the contestants in this bonus section. And we're already more than halfway through that. So I feel like Ha should be leaning towards the end bonuses and trying to squeeze some in, because right now he's probably trying for the bonuses that other people already have. There is Liana going for bonus 4 herself, and Dim, I believe, would probably be going for bonus 5 to try and clear that one out. Liana and Lorenzo both on 800 points, 2 bonuses each. Dim with 4 bonuses. Ha is currently on 0 bonuses. So for this bonus here, we have a lot of merged cells, which was from the case we're not in Kansas anymore. And there's a breakdown of who got each bonus. So what do we have here? It looks like only bonus 5 is up for grabs. So everyone is trying to battle it out for bonus 5 or is moving on swiftly.
And bonus 5 is the it's the frozen lake.
It is the frozen lake. This is the Lana. This is based on the Lana Goes Ice Skating case. And what we're looking for on this frozen lake. The other bonuses were count how many cars there are on the map, or count how many chess pieces there were on the chessboard. This one, you're counting the bananas in the odd cells and let me just
snowflakes
check
from the even
exactly.
cells,
Snowflakes from the even cells, and then was it snowmen from every 7th row? And that makes it incredibly interesting because they now have to kind of split this into an array of only those things that appear in odd rows, even rows, and multiples of 7.
Right. What's interesting about the case is it's obviously a combination of abstract formulas, but also the icons themselves. So it's a little trippy. I remember when I was going through it, it was very trippy to take a look at the icons and say, how am I going to peel all this apart?
Absolutely. And Ha has just shot right into the lead. If you look at that, he is on 2,600 points. I feel like he has already completed level 1 and 2.
But it doesn't look like he's been able to grab any of the bonuses.
1. He doesn't. The only bonus up for grabs is bonus 5. And that bonus is going to be taken very soon, I would imagine, between the other 3 contestants. Someone has just shot up. Did Lorenzo get the 3rd bonus? Let's have a quick look at Lorenzo's screen there. Oh, there we go. Both Lorenzo and Dim have his 5.
Right.
Bonuses are now out of play. We are officially in a race from level 1 through level 5. And I think because Ha hasn't gotten any bonuses while he is at the top of the leaderboard right now, it's going to kill him later on unless he gets that level 5 over the line. So I believe the first 2 levels are 1,300 points each.
Yeah, it looks like section 1
4
is 1,300, section 2 is 1,300. And then they start to spike up after that, just given the difficulty level up to 1,700. And then section 5 being at 2,000.
Absolutely. And it looks like he has just noticed the bonuses have gone. He was working away there trying to get bonus 5 to get at least a little bit of that. And you can see that look of frustration in his face when he realized that is classic. I will be screen grabbing that one for later. Dim has taken over the lead. It looks like he has level 1 there, as well as all 5 bonuses. Dim is the only person left in the running able to get a perfect score from this round.
And Jax, from your perspective, what's the strategy in going after the bonuses first before even counting towards any of the individual sections?
The 2 elements that come into play. The first one would be if you are on the live stream contestants have limited amount of bonuses. If you're playing, the contestants out there that have actually tried to qualify today had free reign to do the bonuses whenever they wanted. But because your bonuses are limited and you know if someone else gets that bonus, you don't stand a chance, you really need to hit the ground running and get those bonuses out. So it's a little bit of a scramble. Absolutely. So these scores look a lot higher than they usually do for anyone that's jumping in, because usually a round will be 1,250 points. Here we have this entire case is worth 10,000 points, 2,000 from the bonuses and 8,000 from the other levels put together. But the bonuses are definitely, it's worth a scrabble if you're on the live stream. If you are just playing remotely, you don't have the time limit on the bonuses, you can come back to those when you are ready. There is less pressure, but it also does help to, if you can do as many of them as possible before you move on with the case, it does tend to help having them in the same place. You're not scrolling up and down trying to get from one section to another section.
Sure.
And this is really great. Dim is on level 3 here, one of the 1,700 point levels, where it's an interesting, you're trying to set up a map range from a certain cell and either a rectangle, a row, a column, or a circle around the cell that you're starting with. And then you're trying to decipher which items are in that range. So there really are 2 parts to this, and you can see Dim has done that in 2 parts. Some of them are just as a square, and then the other one, he's using a map RC lambda.
And I assume
here.
these are lambda functions that he's probably created to be able to feed in.
Dim will usually, you can see he has an underscore map RC there. Underscore is usually a good way for him to mark out his lambda functions. And as he mentioned earlier, he's tidied up a lot of his lambda functions. So this will be a multifunctional map lambda that will do a whole bunch of different things depending on what you wanted to do. You can see there are a lot of commas with a lot of optional parameters going in there.
Right, and so he's wrapping this into a let function that's allowing him to create labels and then multiple steps that are feeding into the subsequent ones.
Exactly, yeah. So he is then taking contents of the range that he's worked out as a circle in that chessboard. In that let statement, he's then doing another X lookup to go and look up the points that each of those pieces is worth so that he can accumulate the total points. And he's on 5,875 points, which makes sense because that is the partial calculation of level 3, giving that 75 points. when he gets the last few in level 3, we would expect to see that go up to a nice round number. Ha is similarly on a number ending in 7-5. There we go. Dim has put in those last ones, and it's nice and round.
And Jack, what do you think is the strategy in terms of him completing partial entries?
For that particular level, if you try and do a solve that will work for both rectangles and circles at the same time, you might overcomplicate matters a bit.
That makes sense.
So if you see, I think what he's looking at this and seeing, actually, I've got a really quick way to solve that problem and a separate quick way to solve that problem, and select that range in a slightly different way.
I see.
So I believe that's what he's doing. And we're down to 50 minutes, so they've only spent 10 minutes on this case. You can see Dim has all bonuses and is up to level 4 now. And I believe what happened with a lot of the contestants that we're playing it live, according to all the groups and the chats that are going on, we have level 5 kicking in, even though they've had 50 minutes left in the case or 45 minutes in the case. Level 5, when they get to it, has just kicked their butts, and they're not getting the points for it.
And Jax, I have a question. So I think most people who compete in this end up getting cut off at the very end. They've run out of time, so they can't get through everything.
Absolutely, yes.
What I wonder is, why are there no points for finishing early?
Well, there actually are. So if you were to take part in this case, and this is part because I got to attempt this a day ago, a little bit early, and have a go myself. I finished all the bonuses, and I finished levels 1 to 4, and I thought I had plenty of time left, went into level 5, and if I had finished at that point, I would be probably the top of all the people that had got the same number of scores and didn't get any points for level 5. But after nearly 20 minutes of playing with the level, I don't think I got any points on that level. And if I just submitted 20 minutes earlier, it puts me way up the leaderboard. So if you have the same score as someone else, and I think that will happen a lot with this case, you can see Dim is on that 8,000 point score. That is what's going to happen with a lot of contenders today, is they're going to get to that 8,000 mark, and then they'll either get a handful of points from manually solving level 5, or they'll get nothing. And your time that you submit is going to determine where you come in the rankings.
That makes a lot of sense.
So we're looking at Liana now. Liana is on 3,485 points. That means she's on that point in level 3 where she's done the squares, and now she's trying to do the circles.
And so when we think back to what Dim was doing, he was doing this in 3 different parts, and she's trying to figure out really how to start to get these answers.
Yeah. So Liana's one here is she's got an easy indirect function there, lambda. And that is one that I have actually used from her before. It's a great way of doing an indirect function. It still is using an indirect function, which we all know volatile functions are a bad idea in the real world. But there are moments when a volatile function comes in incredibly handy in competitive sports, as long as it doesn't crash your whole spreadsheet.
Right. I was thinking the same thing. Is in financial modeling and in business contexts, we probably want to avoid this, but especially in this case where there's a whole lot of cell mapping, and you can't use the lookups in the traditional way. Taking a look at what multiple contestants are doing here, many of them are using indirects for that kind of cell mapping.
Absolutely. So those indirects will really come into play for being able to work out what's happening in the other sheets. For 4 of the 5 levels here, the information that you need is in another sheet. And generally, you have a cell reference that you're trying to find out the information from the other sheet using that cell reference.
Right.
Sometimes, like this case, it's not a direct mapping to go to this cell. In this case, it's go and find a rectangle starting from the cell, or go and find a circle where the cell is the midpoint.
Right.
And that is where it's really kind of coming into play. So that easy indirect lambda that Liana is using that I have stolen, that allows you to use an indirect function, but you can put the name of the sheet that you're trying to get to as a second parameter, or you can leave it blank to just look at the current sheet.
And that shortens the what I might call the traditional syntax of having to use lots of quotes and apostrophes and
yeah, the
concatenation.
exclamation and the
Right.
yes. So quite often when I let's say I don't have my easy indirect lambda loaded in, I might go and click into the other sheet in my formula, come back and wrap that in an indirect with quotations around, and then just change the part that I need to be changing on a row by row basis.
Yeah. But here, given the simplicity of the name Grand as the worksheet, she doesn't have to create any kind of dynamic linkages. She's just trying to pull the range that she wants.
Exactly. Yeah. She seems to be struggling to she's manually going through and typing in her ranges here. I feel like there is definitely a faster way of doing this, and it's really slowing her down. Let's have a look at Ha. He appears to be on 6,000 points. That means he will be working on level 5 at this point. Lorenzo is 500 points off of level 5. Well, no, I think he's completely off of level 5 because he still has some bonuses in addition to Ha. So Ha will be digging into level 5 here and trying to work out what is happening with level 5, which I think is the question to everyone that's out there that's tried this today. What the hell happened in level 5? So let's have a talk about level 5. So we have this level where this map that we spotted earlier, the frozen lake map that was used in bonus 5 early, we saw it, and we're trying to get Lana around this frozen lake. She's ice skating, she's having a great time, and she is moving around this lake. And she's moving in different directions from a start cell. So again, we've got our cell references there where we were just talking about using indirect references to cells. You've got a start cell there, and then she decides to move in a given direction, a compass direction, west or southeast, for a number of turns. And this is where I found this level a little bit confusing, because we've got 7 moves, and inside each of these moves is a number of turns that is defined by the number at the end of the direction. So that then means that she's doing a lot of movement overall. And because that's not hard enough, we've mentioned that she's picking up bananas. Thankfully, bananas do nothing. Bananas do not influence matters. Bananas just make Lana happy. But she is also skating across snowflakes or icicles, which make her faster and increase her speed, or banging into snowmen, and that slows down her speed. And for each individual turn, that could end up stopping her earlier than the turn is finished, or taking her further than she originally intended to go. Which means that her endpoint for each turn is going to be slightly different. And another element that then tricked me is that once you're stopped for that turn, you still start the next move. So you're doing every one of those 7 moves, regardless of whether you've been stopped early or if you've gone into an island or anything else like that. So there's a lot going on in this case. And then, because it's still not hard enough, we're going to make you, every time she crosses something, it's erased off the map. So they can't just go and look at the cells. They then also need to look if they've been in that cell before, in order to get that speed multiplier for those cells. So what a case.
Yeah, so it looks like what Ha is doing is he has created some, he's using 2call to get more of a vertical array out of all of these 7 moves. And then it appears that he's creating almost like a legend where he has different directions and different movements. So he might be able to refer back to this.
So interestingly, if you see the directional table that he's set up above there, that is a method evolved by Jemmet, where he recognizes each cell, where I believe it's the row number times 1,000,000 plus 1,000 plus the column number. So 1,000,001 will be cell A1. And in order to move in the different directions, you either add 1, take 1 away, add 1,000,000, take 1,000,000 away, or you can see there are some movements there of 999,199 for the ones that end up taking the column just up the row, just up a level. So it ends up being quite it's an interesting way of doing things, and it means that if you translate his starting cell from AH5 into this method, so 5,000,000 and whatever column AH is, you can then just add the number of movements in a given direction in order to work out where his finished cell will be, which would be great if there weren't all complications in between.
Right,
the
it's
moves.
all
So
the interim steps that
it's
make
all the
this so
interim steps
challenging.
that's really going to get in here, and he's really got an amazing looking lambda that he's building up as he goes here. So we've got a lambda with an embedded let. He's got his arrows, and he's got some recursion happening by the looks of that. He has a function called recur in the middle of that. So that will be really interesting. That is one fascinating area that contestants are really getting into in the last year, and that's lambda recursion, which is definitely not something you see out in the real world. Let's go have a look at Lorenzo. He seems to be shooting ahead now. And he should be coming away at level 5 here. So he's referencing a level 5. So Lorenzo has a very giant screen, very zoomed out. It gives us a great view of what the overall map looks like, but not a great view of what he's actually writing. So he's an indirect there, looking at the Lana map and trying to get the values in certain cells. But it is really difficult at this level to see what his approach is. It looks like what he's trying to do is a data table approach. So he will solve this for the example. And from that example solution, he'll use the data table that you can see over in column A and B there to generate the solution for all the other levels. He's having a quick check to see where he is in the rankings, to see what he needs to do. But so far, it looks like, can we have a look at the overall leaderboard? Because I want to see if anyone has gotten any points in this level. There we go. So we're sitting at 0 points. It looks like everyone's on 100, apart from Liana has 90% on level 3.
But obviously, with this being the hardest level and seeing everybody tussle with it, it's definitely slowing them down.
Yes.
However, just given that all the bonuses are taken care of, I suppose that's just fine, and they don't have any other prior stages to go back into.
That's right. They don't need to reroute back to the beginning because the bonus levels are all gone. Their focus is now 100% on getting through level 5. And that is where it's really going to come into play here. So we've actually got, it's really a battle of who gets some points on this level at this point. Ha, unfortunately, can catch them, but can't overtake them at this point with his bonus shortage. But some of the comments in the chat are saying that Ha should be winning Rookie of the Year award with the formula that is coming out. A recursive lambda like that for level 5 is just mind-blowing. Lorenzo appears to be making some progress with his overall data table approach. He's using a sequence, I'm guessing, to look at the movement, the turns of a movement in a specific direction there. And I think he will be moving between the different movements. So he's actually highlighted, if you look at the orange cells on his sheet, he's highlighting those as inputs that he's focusing on at the moment, I believe.
Yeah, again, because he's on such a large screen, very difficult to see exactly what he's doing.
Yes, thankfully for his formula bar, it's quite well laid out, we can see, but he doesn't have any monster formula for us to dissect at this point. He has M6 plus 1, which is, he is manually making Lana move a cell at a time, working out what her speed is a cell at a time, and then going from there to break it down. So we have a lot of support in the chat today for a Rookie of the Year award going to her. And now we're with them, who is again, as per everyone else, on level 5. here he has also gone with a similar breakdown where he is looking at the different turns. You can see he's got a column with the speeds, what the speed is on the next turn depending on what he hits. And you can see in column K and L, he has the reference to how he looks up cells. So that AG7 is 7, that looks like 7,033,000. So he is using his reference version. Interesting. So Tim's doing a quick check on if the starting points, what's in the starting points, but it looks like they're all either bananas or empty. So there's nothing that's going to boost the moves on the first thing. He's obviously looking at a potential side case that may occur here. But so in columns K there, you can see what his next cell is marked as. And he moves from cell 7,033,000 to 6,032,000, and that's when he's going from AG7 to AF6.
Right. So it looks like he's creating almost like a journey.
He is, absolutely. And the speed is dependent on what he hits. So you can see in column P, he hits a couple of bananas, then he hits a snowflake, and that snowflake speeds up his speed in the next round, takes him up to 2 for turn 4 of this move. And then he hits a snowman after moving 2 slots, and then that takes his speed right back down to 1 for the next turn. So he is identifying exactly where he's moving, what he's hitting. I'm going to be interested to see how he clears out what he has looked at this point for the next move. Because once he's hit those snowflakes and those snowmen, they disappear from the board and don't come into play if you go back over the same spots. I feel like I'm not sure if anyone in the chat declared that they have actually solved this. I'm not seeing anyone. I haven't looked exclusively at the chat, I'm not going to lie, but I feel like there hasn't been many people that have managed to solve this at this point. This is a world-class challenge. But I feel like you could get points by manually approaching this level.
Right, and just given the progress that everyone's made up until this point, they still have quite a bit of bandwidth to be able to do that manually. Maybe not the best in terms of efficiency, but at least to get to 100%, they might be able to do it one by one.
Well, they've got over 30 minutes available. They could technically try and build a solution, but I feel like with enough time, and if you understand what's happening, you could sit there and work out a path manually by stepping through the map.
Right.
I ended up doing this after my attempt, I'm not going to lie. And I sat down with the map and I filled in each cell with colors. I just like fill color, color, color. So I knew which ones I'd been over, so I knew it didn't speed up, and I took it step by step to try and work out where we ended up. And eventually I managed to get the first 3 solutions matched to the correct solutions. But does someone spend half an hour here trying to get 3 or 4 levels manually? Or do they go for gold? I believe Anders did a solve. Well, that's incredible. Well done, Anders. We have 1 solve apparently that I know of here. Harry Gross has solved it, but just not in the time limits that he had. So this is going to be a very interesting. Everyone is still, I believe Liana's also going for the data table approach here. You can see her first few columns are linking to example 5 or have copied in example 5, and she's trying to replicate the example to try and get to the same solution as the example. And honestly, I think this might be 30 minutes of us watching paint dry. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's going cell by cell, line by line, instead of coming up with something that's fluid.
I was trying to draw a graph earlier this week of the duck finals that I went to a week ago, and I actually battled Liana and Lorenzo in an international battle at the duck finals, and I drew up the time points at which we scored, and to create a graph that would show a line chart of who was at the top of the scores at different points during the half-hour battle. In this case, I have a feeling that pretty much everyone would be climbing rapidly until about 20 minutes into this 1 hour battle, and then it's going to be just level lines all the way through to the end. So we've got some great suggestions in the chat about lambdas that people are going to use. So Eric Ashton, who is a competitor that earlier this year was topping out the UK chapter international rounds and was topping out the Road to Las Vegas internationals through a use of AI. And at that point, a serious discussion was had within the community about whether or not, oh my God, Dim
Looks
has
like he
gone
may
for
have
an
gotten
early
there.
submission with 10,000 points. He has gotten through the entire case with half an hour to go.
That's amazing.
Is he still just looking at his solutions, even though I'm pretty sure he just hit submit there? Did he hit submit early?
It looks like he was about to. I think that he's just putting all of his answers in so that he can upload it.
Yeah, he's making sure that he's got
So-
those in there for his upload file.
Yeah, I mean, I think that with his strategy of being speedy is
And
getting it
I
submitted.
take back everything I said about watching paint dry, because what an incredible dog. He has clicked submit. He has 2 minutes in which to upload his file. Let's hope that the Surface computer of his manages to save. There we go. And wow,
Looks like you can see a little bit of satisfaction on his face.
Dim, speak to us. What have you done?
I think that went quite well.
That is incredible. We had a look probably about 5 minutes ago, and we were thinking, no, we're just going to watch paint dry for the next half an hour. So,
There was a risk of that.
I saw you had a was it a data table approach that you were doing? I could see you had the breakdown of your speed at different steps for each
Yep.
turn within a move. I want to know, how did you deal with removing the snowflakes and the snowmen in subsequent steps?
Yeah, that was tricky. So the idea was, I basically had it laid out with like 1 row per mixing them up now, per turn. So like if there was 10 steps in a certain direction in a move, then they each got a row. But then for one turn, you
I
can
did
still
see you
visit
went
multiple
across
places.
when you were going
So, yeah,
like
I went
multiple
across there.
steps. Yeah.
And yeah, went across there, and then I basically said, I was just tracking the kind of references, my equivalent of the addresses, like the row column references, that I was visiting at each step, and then which ones did I actually make it to if I like stopped at land or whatever. And then the idea was basically I was turning those RC reference codes into what is actually in that cell. So I just added something to say, if this thing appears anywhere among the list of places that I visited before, then zero it out. Otherwise, give me what's
Otherwise,
in that cell.
pick up what you. I love that. That's a great approach. I could see that you were doing individual steps. Did you have your moves in different regions, or did you kind of toggle through your moves?
Wait, sorry, what? Did I have?
So each, like when I was looking at your drop down list, you had the steps in rows.
Yes.
But then you still had 7 moves. Did you have that so it feeds through all the moves?
Yeah. So I did a thing to kind of flatten. Like basically, I turned each. I keep mixing up moves and turns. I turned each move into like whatever it was northwest 7. I turned it into 7 rows of northwest, and did that for each move, and then flattened the whole thing, removing the errors.
Great. So you had the total number of rows that you had was 7 rows for the northwest 7, and then
Yeah, exactly.
10 rows for east 10 or something like that.
Exactly.
Absolutely amazing. I must say, I am once again blown away by the skills that you've done there. I don't think anyone's going to come close to that. We do have Anders has apparently done a solve of this in the time. Harry Gross did a solve of it after the time. Apparently, you are better than AI. And can you look? Are you able to view the stream at the moment? Because look at these lambdas, these recursive lambdas that Har is pulling out.
For some reason, I can't make the stream. Oh, wait, maybe it's back now. No, I can't make it come up. Ah, sorry. I'll just reopen it again, I guess.
He at the moment, I'm not even sure how. There's less space on his screen for the actual cells than there is for the formula bar.
I hope he doesn't have to troubleshoot this.
Oh yeah, now I can see it. That's awesome.
This is a newcomer to this sport. He's only just learnt lambdas from watching you and Bo.
Wow. I mean, this is like doing this game in one cell is hardcore.
Yeah.
I definitely go back to my, financial modeling roots when things get this hard. I'm sure Bo will do a single cell solve. Maybe Ha will too. I don't know, but yeah.
There is a series of commentary about comparing you to AI right now, Dim. And they have redubbed your first name to Dim early with AI in the middle.
No, it's all natural.
And yep, Harry is backing you to win this year.
Oh, I don't know about that. I don't know. Like I do fine in the prelims, and then I get the jitters when it comes to time to make things happen in the final.
It's the actual elimination rounds that always get you. Sabina has asked if Dim is using AI or Copilot is going to be using Dim. That's fantastic. Copilot basically just sends a text message to Dim. That's why it takes a few seconds to calculate. Absolutely epic. The commentary here is next level today. Well done, guys. The chat is brilliant. So we're looking at Liana now, and she's still on this data table approach. She has also taken the same approach as you and flattened the moves and the turns into separate steps. But she also has an additional column to collect.
I should do that. That notes fix this later is actually a very sensible thing to do.
Wait, is there a note saying fix this later?
Yeah, look in cell B13. Fix the already collected stuff.
Oh, that's actually really good.
I did think the example was kind of kinder than usual here in that it did it hit on an example of where you hit something but it isn't there, and it hit on an example of this and an example of that. Yeah.
So Carl, are you feeling the inspiration to really deep dive into lambdas after seeing the way that these guys are solving such complex puzzles?
Well, it's interesting to see because I use them in my work, but in financial applications and in very clean, very auditable ways.
Exactly.
So, there comes to be a contrast between, and when people have asked me about this competition, is I say, it's not necessarily that it's, work applicable, but it's taking creative thinking to a level that most people would never go through. And so I think coming up with just creative ways of building functions to shortcut some of these methods is really a smart way to do it.
Absolutely. It's been really fascinating. I've spent this year working with them on a podcast, and we've been deep diving into people's lambdas and their approaches. We've done recursive calculations, and it's been really fascinating just how lambdas have evolved in this competition sphere. It's definitely taking it to the next level beyond what I would use in a corporate environment. That said, I wouldn't take everything I learned from here into a corporate environment for sure. We definitely do not have any auditability going on in most of our lambdas.
But I still think that there's probably a whole lot of merit even in work environments to say, rather than building something completely from the ground up, from scratch, is can you start 25% of the way? with
Yeah.
something that's a little bit pre-built and that's also recurring.
Yeah, and I think that's what we've seen today with a lot of the contestants for the levels 1 to 4 and the bonus level.
Absolutely, right.
There are so many lambdas already built that these puzzles, which would be hard to anyone coming in for the first time without a lambda collection, become trivial. Especially that, what was it you were looking at level 3, Dim, when you were doing the circles versus the rectangle shapes?
Oh, yeah.
Lorenzo has been taking a quick look to see where everyone else is in the rankings to make sure. I think he obviously knows he can't beat Dim. No one can beat Dim at this point. Thank you, Eric, for the shout out for my awesome podcast and Dim's awesome podcast.
I do feel like there's still plenty of time for people to catch me here. It's I think like the first few minutes of just running like a maniac straight at the bonuses might be the thing that actually won it, rather than going fast on the
Absolutely.
rest.
So Hart managed to get none of the bonuses, so the best he can do is 8,000, and Lorenzo and Liana split the other 5 bonuses that were available. So you were the only person to get that had the possibility of reaching a perfect score.
Oh, it's a rough format, this bonus lockout thing.
I know. Interesting, Liana's on 6630. Has she done a... can we have a look at her score? That was because she got 90%, I think, on level 3.
I think you're right. I think it was a
she's
partial
missing a couple of
correct on a
points
prior.
over there.
Yeah, level 3.
Okay, that I was wondering if she had something there. So basically, Lorenzo is likely is pretty much unbeatable unless Liana or her do what Dim's done and get a solve for level 5 in the remaining 20 minutes. Now, I'm not going to lie. At this point, I thought I've got plenty of time and just kept trying to solve this, and it didn't work out well for me. Harry has dubbed you Dim 30 minutes early, just for the record. And here,
okay, I guess.
Lorenzo's kicking a whole bunch of hash values, which is never a fun thing to see. I'm guessing at the end of that turn, something's going wrong, and he's got a bit of kind of recursion feeding through here.
This is the hard thing about this now. I assume everyone has pretty much got everything they can, except maybe Liana's little fix on
level 3.
middle. Like, the scores will not move again now, except in steps of 2,000.
I had just said, well, unless someone does a manual solve and literally decides I'm going to get some points and goes and starts trying to manually solve this. But I had just said before you went and actually came up with the final solve that there was going to be a really steep kind of like point thing, and then just watching everyone's points stay at the same level for the next half an hour, and then you got the solve. So you proved me completely wrong. I do love it when you prove me wrong. It's always an exciting thing.
Well, it looks like in Lorenzo's effort here, obviously we can't see what's going on with all the pound values, but my guess is that in column O, what is it? O14 maybe. Oh, there he goes. Looks like he just polished some of this.
Something out.
Yeah. I was gonna say, my guess is it was being driven by column O, but everything that was cascading thereafter looks like it may have worked. But with the look on his face, with his hand covering his mouth, it looks like he may be a little unsure. I'm not sure.
He's still trying to troubleshoot something happening there, because presumably at this point he is trying to match the solution for the example, and once he has that, he can feed that through his data table to get all the other solutions, and something is not quite matching in the final solution. You can see it's gone through all the different moves and directions until he starts getting some errors further down. I'm not sure if that is at the end of the moves and he's just got a bunch of extra formula there.
He beat the errors down a few more rows there.
Yes, Danae's got one less row of errors happening in there. This is amazing. And our chat today is absolutely filled with people that are waiting to find out if they have qualified for the
I'm
XL
allowed to
World
look at that
Championship.
now.
Yeah, welcome. So Dim is joining the chat, and he will try and catch up with the 200 odd messages in WhatsApp and the 27 million messages on the YouTube chat. So he might go silent for a little bit. 218. That is impressive. I'm not gonna lie. So we have, looking at the while Lorenzo is troubleshooting his issues there, although we've got a screen grab, Dim's screen is now blanked out because, well, he's got nothing left to show us. He's already shown us how it's done. Hal appears to still be in a deep giant lambda there. Oh, he appears to be trying to put something into a formula. Can we check Hal's screen and see if he's actually putting in a solution? Right, he has pasted in some solutions, but is it correct, and is he going to get the points? Is that in the right sheet, or is that in his
score?
sheet?
I don't think his score has changed, so it doesn't look like he's put that into the
I think this is his own workbook. I don't think he's putting it into the submission workbook.
Oh wow! I feel like once you've put in that kind of effort, there's no turning back and starting in a different direction.
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness.
It's just like, okay, now we're doing it manually. So, I mean, looking at his answers, those did look, the ones that I saw, they did look to be correct. I'm not sure if he's necessarily pasting them into the correct workbook because the space there, or at least one of them that I glanced, appeared to be correct.
The first one, it had V something for the first one. I had
okay,
U
no, that's
something,
right.
so maybe not.
It is U something for that first one. So that might be, he might be out by a couple of cells here and there. Yes, he is out by a couple of rows. So he's going to be dissecting that for a little bit longer. But what we have out there at the moment is, I can tell you that the top 42 to 45 ranked players in the world at the moment, according to Benny and Peter, have all already qualified in the Road to Las Vegas or in the Financial Modeling World Cup. So these the slots that are coming through, our top contenders are Min Chen, Brittany Deaton, we've got Martin Morissette of Canada, we want to see Adam Reichenbach of Hungary, who was, if I'm not mistaken, he was actually kind of in the finals stage recently, or in the top 32 at least. His name was popping up quite heavily. And we've got a few other amazing contestants that are trying to get back in to the actual battle. Today, we've got Dan Siders, who was on the final stage just 2 years ago. Who else? And we've got your friend David Brown as well, Carl, who will be competing right now to try and get into that qualification.
That'll be an extra interesting one for him because I guess the MECC students are doing the same case, so he's going to be competing indirectly against his own students.
They are also competing live today. Their results won't be shown on our live stream, but they are concurrently competing on the same case, which is...
I think it would be very special if one of his students beats him.
That would be amazing.
Yes.
But also, you can always learn from your students.
Right.
And that kind of approach to life will get you much further than pretending you can't. Eric is checking his answers against what Dim put on the screen, just to see how. Jade has pointed out that Lorenzo looks like he is questioning his life choices. Liana at the moment probably also looks like she's questioning her life choices. She has a very similar layout going on here to Lorenzo's, with errors kicking up halfway down. So she's going down to start troubleshooting her way and try and do what Lorenzo was doing earlier by knocking those errors further and further down the list. It's very interesting seeing the different approaches, and that was the bit that I thought was the most interesting today. Antonio, we will be looking at the results from the qualification round after this battle is over. So in 11 minutes, we will be going into a chat with our players, and probably around 20 to 25 minutes, we should have some results up for our live contestants today that are trying to qualify for the World Championship. And once again, we've seen these scores have stayed stagnant since Dim jumped. And that has been a good 20 minutes now, Dim, since you actually knocked that one out.
Yeah, I think I was like just over the half hour, so maybe not quite, but it's getting there. It's not,
it does seem like stages 1 through 4 were in a completely different world than this one. Completely.
Yeah. Sure. I feel like it almost gives you a bit too much confidence running through stages 1 through 4. And then you think, I have so much time left.
And then you hit the wall.
Yeah, so I'm still blown away that Dim has managed to solve this. Liana is checking the leaderboard. She is submitting something for level 5. Is she trying to do some manual answers, or is she trying to put in some answers and see? She might be trying to get some answers in there and then see if any of them hit.
To see if she's hitting them.
She's got something, which is, I guess, might be enough.
She's still 300 points behind Lorenzo. So to take him out, she's going to need... how many are each of the questions in this case? Because the total case is 2,000, so that's 100. She's going to need three more correct answers to get her ahead of Lorenzo.
Yeah.
Whether
so
she's doing that, she's got 15% of level 5.
Her 10% of level 3, if she can get that, would get her to 7,100. Oh, Lorenzo's
just got 5%. Ha has 10%. Everyone's got a partial solve going on here. This is amazing.
Get close.
I'm not sure if they've launched into let's solve a few of these manually. Just look at the approach. Put in like level 81 or whatever it is, and look through and try and map that through my formula.
There are only a few thousand cells in the lake. You could, paste them in one by one for the next 8.5 minutes. Oh my god.
Those of you that have been using the esports platform to play around on, you'll notice that during the live battles and in the one that they're seeing now, there isn't a lot of feedback on what your score has been. Those that have actively been competing today will have no feedback on their scores. These guys at least get to see the overall level of their scores. When you are competing for training or in a community game, generally you get instant feedback on a question by question basis, so you can very easily, if you know that it's in a certain region, start typing in anything in that region until you see the solution come up with a tick. That is not the case in these live battles, unfortunately. You can do a lot of round betweens.
Yeah, the feedback on the answers is quite nice, but on the other hand, the bonus lockout, like, I suspect that Lorenzo, Liana, and Ha will all end up a chunk lower in the rankings than they would have been without the bonus lockout, because I'm guessing most people will have got, or like most of the top people will have got everything except level 5.
Yeah.
Missing a few bonuses will probably knock, I mean, they don't care if they're qualified, but that'll probably knock them down a chunk.
You are still getting compared to AI all over the chat, I'm not going to lie. There's a new AI model just dropped, Dim GPT-5. So for those of you that are watching and maybe you have qualified, maybe you haven't qualified, but you really want to be there and join in the fun this December, many of us will be in Vegas. To celebrate, to watch the end of the finals, to take part in the finals, and maybe this will be Dim's year, or should I be touching wood?
It doesn't matter what you say. It's not. I'll still get the jitters.
It's an incredible experience for those of you that are considering it. I see there's a lot of Vegas chat that's coming up in the YouTube chat at the moment. And I would 100% recommend it. I'll be going on for my 3rd year there and it is an incredible experience. You get to watch Dim talk at the active cell and learn more tricks from him in person than you already do on his YouTube.
Yeah, all those best tricks that I've been holding back.
So, are you feeling intimidated by the level 5 here today, Carl? Is that going to prevent you?
It's remarkable, and I think what's been interesting. I competed in the professor versus professor challenge, and when I take a look at the strategy that Dim took today, I was kind of beside myself of being able to go for the bonuses before even completing each section.
Yes.
So it was just really interesting to see how the strategy plays into this, rather than just using your basic logic.
Yeah, strategy really does come into play, especially around the bonuses with these live streams, and it's fascinating how the strategy has evolved over time as well. Because a lot of the strategy, while there is a lot of strategy to having your own landers, this is such an open community, and a lot of that is on Dim, because he is one of our top contenders worldwide, and he is out there sharing everything he knows constantly. I'm not sure how many hundreds of videos you have now, Dim, over 300 videos, telling us how he does everything, so that people that are coming in and learning the sport can go and actually learn everything he knows. And it's incredible how fast people are leveling up. You're looking at Ha today, who is creating monster landers in less than a year of competing. It's amazing how it can really push people to level up their game.
Yeah, and I look at this in a couple of different ways too. Is one, watching these four contestants, it can be very intimidating if you're a newcomer to say, "Oh my goodness, I'm not even close to being able to do this." But then at the same time, what you'd shared earlier is there's just so many different ways of solving the same problems. And I think that that's really the neat thing, not just about the competition, but the beautiful thing about the tool is that there is really no limit to the different paths that you can take to solve problems.
Absolutely. I think that is the innovation and the way that people solve the same problems using different techniques, different tools within Excel. We had last year on this same stream, Dim was on this stream, obviously. I think you've done 3 years in a row now of doing the qualification round live stream.
Yeah, I think I commentated a couple years ago, so yeah, I guess that is 3 in a row.
Yep. And Jasper van Malen came in and did a Python solve for the qualification round. And I believe he doesn't use Excel formula. He just came straight in and did an incredible job at solving the puzzles in Python. So there are so many tools out there that people can use in Excel these days. Oz is still pushing to see someone do a Power Query solve. And I'm not sure even the best in the world. Is Lorenzo going to have another attempt at getting some more level 5 points in here? He is on 8,400. He has gotten some more points.
He was up by about 300 points. Now he's up by about 1,000.
That's pretty good.
That's not bad. Liana's on 40% and Ha is on 10%.
It just looks like they're incrementally doing line by line. So they're jumping a little bit. They're not going from 15 to 100. It's incremental.
Semi-manual approach.
I mean, there is at least more movement in the scores than I thought there might be. I thought we were going to be sitting on everyone in the same place or 2,000 steps. This is at least a little more exciting.
2 minutes left, so it might just be kind of trying to hack out a line here and there, or come up with a full solution. I don't know. Lorenzo's solution must be pretty close, but there may be some edge cases that are just killing him. It might be that he's hitting the edge of the lake and he's not allowed for that edge case. We are seeing a Power Query solve for Dach semi-final 2 with Torben. Oh, that was true, Sabina. That was amazing to see. Torben did really well in semi-final 2 of the Dach case, and he got through to the finals. Both a Power Query solve and a new OA robot user.
Yes, come on, robot.
So, question them on those bonuses, when you powered through all 5 bonuses, how much of that was OA Robot?
Of the
And
bonuses,
how much of it was lambdas?
I think, no, definitely some lambdas. All right, hang on, let me take a look. So the first one, no lambdas, that was just some count ifs. The second one, I used my count occurrences lambda. Third one was just count ifs. Fourth one, I did some funky stuff with lambdas. Yeah, I did a biro to flatten it with lambdas. And then fifth one was just count ifs. I think all the different things in the lake. I don't think I did anything funky there.
Well, just a little bit of time left. I think that the spread is significant enough. I don't know if we're going to see major jumps unless somebody does something real
Not
special.
unless Liana or her drops in a full solve at this point with 13 seconds left to go. I think we are seeing the final results. We've got Dim on 10,000, Lorenzo on 8,400, Liana on 7,430, and her on 6,200, which is an incredible array of scores. Some great contestants doing. Welcome back, everyone. We have Liana, Lorenzo, Ha, and Dim back in the chat. How is everyone feeling after that battle? That was amazing. We have Dim. For those of you that are still in there, you may have noticed Dim disappeared from adding any points about halfway through. He managed a full solve in just over half an hour and completely did an incredible job. But the most fascinating thing was all of you were onto that level 5 pretty quickly, and then we saw completely different solutions coming from each of you. So well done on surviving that.
I'm kicking myself here for not solving the bonuses faster.
Yeah, me too.
We do have a classic moment on stream where Ha is trying to solve bonus 5. By that point, bonus 5 had been picked up, and you notice on the screen that bonus 5 has been taken, and you have an on-screen reaction, which I will be clipping.
There was some good body language.
To use
I
later.
should have solved 5 before I started solving the 5 levels. Oh, bonus 5.
In hindsight, that's great to know. I think it was an incredible run from all of you, especially since you had limited bonuses, which the contestants out there really didn't have. We had. What I'm interested in is how, as a newcomer to the sport, you came up with a lambda that was longer on your screen than the actual cells that I could see at the bottom of your screen.
It looked amazing.
It's inspired by Dermot's what is it? OA robots kind of automatically inputting a recursive function, but I think with enough time I might get it to work, but 10% of a level 5 is good enough for now.
I did notice you had a recur in there somewhere in the middle of that lambda. I'm thinking this is like a recursive lambda that's just going in loops. This is incredible.
Yep, but it refuses to work for halfway through.
Liana and Lorenzo, you both went for similar approaches. You both fought over those bonuses that Dim beat you to. Not gonna lie, but Lorenzo just put Liana taking 3 out of the 5 bonuses, with Liana taking the other 2, and then you both used a data table approach to solve the final level, or at least a widespread approach rather than a single cell solution. So Lorenzo, what happened with you? We noticed you progressively getting your errors going further and further down the page, so there were less and less of the errors.
Yeah, I think I had a good model, but didn't read the question properly. So when I find out you could not pick again the same item to slow down or speed up, I said, oh no. And so I had to rebuild basically not half of the logic, but a good part of it. And I think I was quite close, to be honest. Couldn't match the example for some reason, so I was doing some debug. I think with a couple of minutes more, I probably would have picked 100%, but we'll see after the stream. And on the bonuses, I said, what is going on here? So I started pretty fast. And so bonuses disappearing one after the other. So
I knew what had to be done, I just couldn't do them fast enough.
I was very triggered after, like, last year on the stream, I got locked out of the 2 easiest bonuses in, like, the first 45 seconds. So I was like, bonuses first thing! I'm not even looking at anything else.
You were going straight in with that one.
Yeah.
Liana, how did you feel about that? I noticed you were picking up partial points towards the end there. All of you picked up partial points on level 5 towards the end there. It was really, really incredible. How many of you are doing kind of like a programmatic approach, and how many of you were doing a semi-programmatic approach with trying to like just get individual answers out? No, not at all. So what were you doing towards the end there, Liana, to get yourself up to that 40% that we saw on that?
I just kept reading the instructions to see what bananas did.
I feel like the bananas are in fact a red herring banana.
Total red herring.
Maybe just a double check, but yeah.
100% you cannot have a Lana case without bananas. Absolutely. I did spend a lot of, I believe my email to the team immediately after trying the case was, so the bananas do nothing? That was my first clarifying question. It was very exciting. So well done to everyone. That was an incredible battle. Dim got to join in the chat, but you guys will now have over 200 WhatsApp messages, 1,000 comments on the YouTube, and who knows what's happening over in the Discord right now. So feel free to pop over there and catch up. But before you do, we're going to go to an ad break. And if you are watching, stay with us because there's something very exciting coming at the end of the ad break before we reveal the results.
Welcome to the future of Excel Esports. The Excel Esports online platform is here. For the first time ever, you can play Excel Esports anytime, anywhere. Practice solo, battle with friends, or challenge players worldwide. Dive into legendary Excel Esports cases, from epic collabs to fan-favorite puzzles. Track your progress, climb the leaderboards, and level up your skills. This is your arena. Sign up today at playexcelesports.com.
You know, it's interesting. You would think watching people in spreadsheets would be pretty dull. It's not at all.
It's really quite surreal.
I never thought this would happen.
This is unbelievable. What is this? It's Microsoft Excel. To be around all that neon light and the stage and huge monitors. This isn't some janky stuff slapped up in a hotel conference room for a night.
Michael Jarman, world champion of spreadsheets.
I was on the front page of the New York Times. Like, that's insane.
My husband comes running upstairs and says, "You'll never believe what I just found."
I'm Bill Gates. In this video, you're going to see the future.
Hello. I'm Eric Ohm, and I've been learning Excel for 30 years. So this is my world.
The first time you try one of the cases, it's so much fun.
I found the problem-solving aspect quite interesting.
It was love at first sight.
I don't know how they do it. It's like incredible. How do you explain why Steph Curry can shoot so many three-pointers? It's just a gift.
Are you good at Excel? Can you solve problems? But can you do it under incredible time pressure?
And the rush and the adrenaline that you get trying to perform under that pressure is beyond anything that you experience in normal life.
There are rivalries in the sense that there are a few people of similar-ish abilities that are consistently kind of one-upping each other.
There's three, what I now call and many other people call the Titans. Andrew Nye.
He is a 3-time world champion.
An Aussie champion going in as hot favourite.
The current champion, Michael Jarman.
I call him the Michael Jarman.
A Toronto man can now call himself a world champion in Microsoft Excel.
I remember, like, after I won, like, the next day, I was trending on TikTok.
And Dim Early, who's called the LeBron James of Excel.
Hi, I'm Dermot Early. I've been doing competitive Excel for 12 years now, pretty much since it started. I've been using Excel for about 20 years, starting from kind of playing around with it in the summers of college through using it all the way through my career, and now I run a business doing Excel magic for people.
Hello and welcome. I'm going to show you my live solve of this case.
I think it started with Dermot putting out his walkthrough videos.
He is the most active on like social media and giving back to the community.
Yeah, and you know, hopefully we'll actually see you guys in person in Vegas in a few months.
Being here in Las Vegas for a live head-to-head competition in an e-gaming arena.
Las Vegas. I think Andrew had his eye on that from pretty much from the start.
It was my idea, but I was happy to have a great team to implement the whole thing. My vision is that at one point I'm handing out a check of $1 million to the winner of the Excel World Championship. We want to be on a big esports arena, just like we are in Vegas right now. You know, lots of people watching online, and there were millions watching the finals.
The Excel World Championships are broadcast here on ESPN.
I have no idea how he convinced ESPN that it should be a thing.
Been on ESPN 3 times, and I've won a cash prize. I'm a professional athlete.
The first year in Vegas, and yeah, we did all that hype tunnel and on-screen stuff.
It started with the hype tunnel
with like crowds of people roaring and chanting.
There's people in the stands with like temporary tattoos on their faces of Excel stuff.
The energy is unbelievable. It's very exhilarating.
And yeah, it does seem like it's really picking up in popularity.
More and more people who are relatively new and quite good are turning up, and they're gonna, leave me, Andrew, Dim, and whoever else in the dust.
There's so many skilled competitors. It could be 20 different people that take home the giant belt.
My goal this year is to get on that stage, and I will do everything in my power to get there.
So, yeah, anybody can win, really. This is my world.
Wow, and we are right back in with the results. Welcome back. So, covering the Asia and Pacific region. Take us away.
Yeah, so it looks like in Asia Pacific, number 1, we have Elvin Rustamov. Coming in second, we have Martin Morissette. Then Cameron Fraser, Min Chen, Shane Buckley, Ella Boberg, James McQueen, Logan Clark, John House, and Kaiwi Lim.
Absolute epic contenders. We do see that there are a couple of non-Asia Pacific contestants in there. They were accounted for in the overall view. So we do see that Dan Siders, Martin Morissette, and John House have competed from other regions and took part in the AM battle this morning and are counted in that region's total of contestants. So well done to all of those that have competed in the Asia and Pacific region. I believe we have Africa and the South Americas next. Oh, there's more Asia Pacific, 4 more Asia Pacific contestants there. Great job to Vikram, Princess Camille, Will, and Tobias on qualifying for the World Championship. Great. Now we have South America and Africa. We have some amazing contestants in here. You can see Vitor, Andre, Leandro. The Brazilians are bringing it out this time. We got Luis Klingsman, the owner and co-founder of the Brazilian chapter, is back in there. Ricardo, Dennis, Fredson, and Andre, well done to all of you. And in Africa, we have a lot of the South African team. We've got Jason and Stein from the South African local chapter, as well as Adam Jacobson. Then we have a lot of the Madagascans. We've got Siori, Finiri Mikoja, and Aina. We've got Franco Bosman from South Africa, and Peter Pinar, who was one of our MECC contestants last year. He did incredibly in the MECC. So well done to those of you in these regions. I'm not going to lie, Carl, I'm really excited for the next sheet. There's a chance I might be in there.
Let's take a look at Europe. So Europe, wow, look at all these. So Vive, Nikolai, George. We've got a lot of representation across, I mean, I can't even tell, maybe a dozen countries.
What an amazing spread of countries. I'm not going to lie, I'm doing a little dance in the corner here, doing my little... me slotted there in 11th place. That gets me into the game. I am happy. We still have more slots available in Europe as well. Let's go and have a look at those. Wow, 20 more slots here. We've got a ton from the UK. A lot of these names I recognize myself from our local chapter that we've sold. There are a lot from the Dutch region as well, who've been really strong this year.
And then it looks like we've got a couple from Spain and a couple from Germany as well.
Absolutely amazing. Great job, guys. If you can see your name there, you are in.
Congratulations.
And I think there's a little bit more from Europe. Absolutely. So then we have 3 more UK contestants coming in the final 6 slots. And you can see there some of those scores at the very end of the Europe region. There are 3 scores that are identical with the full hour. And those were based, I believe, the order that they were allocated is the order in which you enter the competition. And the final slot that got eliminated was because one person entered at 8 a.m. on the same day that the other person entered at 3:30 p.m. And if they'd signed up just 6 hours earlier, that would have been a qualification score right now. Absolutely gutting for them, but we have to have those rules for just these edge cases. So absolutely amazing job to everyone that's taken part there. Well done on doing so well in this round. We've got some really high scores over here in Europe. It's hard to beat that. Shall we move over to North America? Amazing. These are some great contestants. Again, North America is our biggest region. So from North America, we have, I believe, something like 40 slots available. Was it? We've got 62 slots. So we're going to have 3 pages of this. We've got Diana, who is an amazing contestant that plays with the ladies. So does Emily in 10th spot there, our Canadian female duo coming to kick some butt. We've got Brittany coming in for America, Ben Carr, another great player, Ben DeLeon, who has been in the top for the last few years. You can also see Brandon Moyer, who's been on the final stage, and Stephanie Anna Rose, who came in a couple of years ago and was at the active cell with the rest of us competing. Great job. And on the next page, we can see Amber in 23rd. She has been very active in the community this year, and we have an almost full American board here. If it wasn't for Eric representing Canada, this would just be stars and stripes. How are you feeling about that, Carl?
Well, it's not surprising. Living outside of Chicago, see a lot of enthusiasm for this, and then also just being around the country and taking note of how many people from the country are competing. It's not surprising.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. What a great job all around. We've got another page of this and then a little bit more. So let's have a look at the next page.
There you go. There you got a little bit more Canadian.
We've got a little bit more Canadian creeping in. We've got some more female representation coming in. We've got Diana Barragan, another great contestant. Ashley Roberts, who was in the round of 64 in Vegas last year. Caitlin Steinen, who has had some really good battles in the past up against people like Dim. And she, I believe, has taken out quite a few other contestants in previous battles, including Yiwei, who qualified for the European range earlier. So some great names up in the slot. It's going to be a hell of a battle this year. We've got 256 people just really knocking each other out, and everyone you come up against is amazing. So let's have a look at that final page. 2 more slots. We have Thomas Keane of Canada and Brian Rowley of the US. And look at all of those slots. Immediately after those slots, we have an entire bank of people on 6,775 points. So close. So well done to everyone that took part today. That was an amazing round and an incredibly hard round. I'm not going to lie. I thought I would traumatize you all with my lovely Lana shirt. For those of you that did the morning round, I'm going to traumatize you with my lovely V Lucky versus X Lucky shirt in the background. So we have that video that we just saw before announced the qualifications, that credit to Tom Van Kalken and Richard Owens, who are working on a documentary about us. And I think that is an absolutely amazing and epic representation of what the community is about and what we're all about as a sport. We have quite a lot coming up. Most of the local chapters are done. There will not be any fun side battles to take part in anymore, but we now have enough contestants that we're going to be launching into the round of 256. The brackets will be launching soon, so there'll be some streams that you can find out where you are in the brackets, who you're up against, and who you have to worry about. So there's a lot to look forward to. Keep an eye on the calendar, and the team will let us know where everything's happening on their website, on LinkedIn, and through every other means that we have communications with them. So keep an eye on things. Carl, if people want to get in touch with you, know more about you, and encourage you to take part in more rounds, because you leapt right into the deep end. It's so brave to get up on that live stream. It's
I know, yeah.
It's the most deadly thing.
Yeah, well, what was funny about that was when I was asked to join, I thought that I was just going to be commenting on the competition. I actually didn't realize I was going to be competing. So you're right. I had only done one competition maybe a year ago before that one, but you know, I had shared on LinkedIn a post of saying the first one I went to, I think the first competition I was in, I got 0 points because I didn't understand the case. I didn't understand
to put the answers in.
I didn't understand anything. So anyone who's interested in doing this, you know, it might seem intimidating. It certainly looks intimidating. The first time may be very challenging, but it starts to get easier. It starts to become a lot more intuitive, and most importantly, it starts to become a lot more fun. So, you know, anyone who's interested in doing this, you know, you don't have to be #1 in the world. It's just starting to get experience, put yourself out there, and you start to learn. You start to have a lot of fun doing this. Anyone who's interested in being in touch, certainly feel free to follow anything that I do on LinkedIn. I share a lot of Excel courses and financial modeling courses there. You're also welcome to reach out to me through email, and then also visit my website at sidemanfinancial.com.
Fantastic. Great. And if anyone wants to get hold of me, I am on YouTube as XLtism Jack. I'm on LinkedIn as myself. And I'm on TikTok as XLtism. I am on the XL Files podcast. I'm on anything to do with the sport. I am not going to lie. I'm interested. So get in touch with me. I'm always open to discussing the sport and getting to know people better that are interested in this. So welcome. Thank you very much for joining us today. Congratulations to everyone that has qualified today.
Congratulations, all of you. I know this is a very, very hard one. Nice for going through it, and congratulations on making it to the next round.
Excellent. Great job. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.